Mm. What's up, Larry? What up? Back again. Speak some bullshit. The current thought has been let's start with something I've written. Okay, sorry. I was zoning out for a minute, but in the belly of the beast. In the belly of the beast. That's what I wanna start with. I think what that means for me and my thoughts right now is we can become so attached to an idealistic, content way of living. And I think that sort of stagnates us into a state of being in the belly of the beast. But what's also interesting to me is I think in the United States, with kind of everything that's happening in 2026, the digital electrical sort of progression, artificial intelligence, and the progression of that, the internet as a whole kind of just developing and gaining time. The time it's been here for a while now, and we're seeing the effects of it, and things are sort of digesting and getting birthed, uh, or being born out of this sort of happening. And I think I view the United States as being in the belly of the beast. We are in the heart of the matter. We are here, and this is kind of the frontier of what I think is coming, what I think's happening now. It's not even like fully coming. It's just transitioning into this sort of weird, chaotic mess of happenings. It's the only way to kind of describe it, because there's such a momentum of ideological and spiritual and religious beliefs, dogmatic and propagandic, but I don't know, propaganda. These sort of entities of belief and hope and faith and information, they are fractalizing in such a way that they become the same thing. They're just worded and framed differently. And we have a sort of hmm, we have a sort of what I can only describe as a cult like formation of culturally or socially accepted niches or groups that are forming digitally and in person. Um, and we're supposed to just sort of bow our heads and agree and allow it to happen. And this is where we pivot into sort of a paradox of multiple things that I think could stem from this way. What I think we could describe as a reawakening of the individual into their defense mechanism that their ego sort of provides, um, because of this constant download of digital information and digital status, and the amount of things that the amount of opportunities of us being recorded or being taken picture of. um, it's created this sort of like stance that we're all in, a sort of formation that we're all in, where we kind of, it's not that we're like robots, but there's a sort of like back plate keeping us up, right? Like almost in a way of just being strapped to something and understanding you're strapped to something, but having no control over it, right? You're just kind of having to stay there. And I guess that creates the another sort of idea of uh, being hunted, or feeling like we're being hunted or being watched by something. And instead of being hunted for meat, like survival of your body, we're being hunted for our vulnerability and our attention. And it's created a sort of um, a new environment that we're heading towards, where everything is really intentional, and therefore the make believe becomes the sort of real real nature of things. And what I mean by that is where the physical reality literally becomes the godlike realm of, like, imagining Zeus is among us, or imagining, yeah, some god has taken flesh. And people will literally view themselves, and already are in some way or another, as a figure that can do no wrong, and has to hold up this idealistic image that we are constantly being suffocated with and told to go towards. And I guess where, these sorts of, why I'm doing this, and even down, like, just even saying the things I'm saying, it's because there's always perceptions and levels to things that are happening. And what I'm stating and talking about is more of a cultural happening of the abundance of people and things that are happening on Earth. And I kind of view these sort of dialogues as a rare occurrence, because there there's so many things happening and so many worlds to walk into, pretty much, and to exist in, and realities and narratives to believe in, that so much of what you can only describe as the truth of individual expression is getting lost in the underground. They're becoming artifacts, and there's going to be a sort of underground of people who are creating taste, becoming tastemakers of dialogue and not image believing, but sort of storytelling in a way. I would like to view, artists in that role now. Artists, musicians, and painters, they all should really become one thing, and expression should become their main focus, instead of isolating their point of view into one thing. It should be more of a collaborative goal to acquire a new space of reality, not in some sort of dogmatic belief or ideological language. a feeling of taking back our reality, taking back what we're seeing in our daily lives and what we're hearing. And instead of being handed bullshit, carry on.